Good Friday, everybody. It is your friend and pal in DFS, Chapadong. I'm coming at you with another hyper simple breakdown today for MLB DFS. But I wanted to start off first by showing you the Twitter handle, Chapadong. You can follow me out there, get tips, and get a lot of conversation, hopefully, that points you in the right direction in your research. And we just kind of have a bunch of fun out there. I wanted to show you the ladder system. I'll drop a link to how to build a ladder down in the comment section of this video in a little bit. But the ladder system is simply a way to build bankroll with the bulk of your I guess your daily budget, if you will. You can put 80-90% of your money in these ladder systems, build chalky cash lineups that are designed to grind up a bankroll, turn $5 into $50 in some cases, but mostly we're talking 5 into 10, 10 into 20, something like that. But you've always got the upside to go 4x and 5x on your really good nights. That's why we play 100-man leagues and we play some other things, so that when the 50-50 contest, if you've ever won a 50-50 contest and not had it anywhere else, it kind of feels like a bummer to put in $5 and only get $9 back when you could have done so much better. Well, that's what the ladder system does, is it shows you how to layer different contests. And what we do is we aim for a sweep. We build for the top of the ladder, but we miss by hitting the 50-50s and the triple ups and the 3-mans and 5-mans and whatever else that we're sprinkling in. And we can show you how to do that and grind up a bankroll. And then that frees up a little bit of your budget left over at the end of the day to take shots at the bigger GPPs that everybody loves taking shots at. Where you turn $1 into $1,000 or whatever. That's how we tend to play DFS, from a smart, intellectual, strategic standpoint. And we're showing people inside DFSArmy.com how to do that every day. So if you're the type of player that's looking for a different way to maybe play DFS or learn different sports, where we have the content, tools, and coaching put together for you at DFSArmy.com. That link is also down there in the comment section, where you can click the link and use the coupon code CHOP, CHOP, trigger a 20% off discount, and get in here and start winning today. We have an awful lot of content rolling out, from Showdown PGA articles to MLB slate breakdown articles. MMA is starting to hit as well. And what I'm going to scan down and show you is NASCAR, because our truck series dropped this morning. And our truck series, if you don't dominate DFS with NASCAR trucks, you need to be part of us, because we do. And we show people how to do that every week as well. The winning just doesn't stop. I don't play NASCAR and I win at trucks because I just follow our coaches. I'm telling you, I don't know the first thing about trucks, but I don't need to, because I'm learning every day how to play all of the sports and play them well. In the sports that I don't particularly coach, I know who to talk to. That's what we do. We lift each other up as a community. Let's dive into the MLB research station. Now, what I did today is I showed you the later slate. And I want to show you this because it's a faster way to break things down, but you can do this in 20 minutes on the full slate today. I just personally am not playing it, so I'm not even going to look at it. I will play the later slate. It's pretty ugly for pitching and even for bats and matchups, so it's going to be a tricky little slate to digest. So I'm going to throw in a little bonus thing that we'll look at, that I'll show you another way to approach this slate, since this traditional way doesn't work out very well, or it doesn't look great on paper. But today, I'm going to at least show you that way, so that you can transfer that skill out onto the main slate and just lather, rinse, repeat the process. The first thing we do is we look for our pitchers. We're going to try to find the best pitcher on the slate. I sort by K-score right here. And it varies a little bit from source to source or sample size to sample size, but right now this is the one that I'm using, and I will look for the most strikeout upside. That's going to combine a team's strikeout percentage with the pitcher they're facing and his strikeout percentage, and it's going to put them on an apples to apples comparison, where I can tell who has more strikeout upside today: Joey Lucchesi or Jordan Lyles, Jeff Samardzija or Marco Gonzalez. So I can start looking for strikeout upside, because that is what most important in picking a pitcher out on Fanduel. I can look at Vegas odds. I can look at the pricing, of course, and then make my determination. When I look at these names, Lucchesi, Lyles, Samardzija, Marco Gonzalez, whatever, I look at the price, and I see a 6,200 in Lucchesi priced all the way up to 8,200 on DraftKings. I like that. I like that quite a bit. And I see a minus 160 favorite and a 478 K-score is the highest on the slate. So if I've got the best strikeout upside the slate has to offer, which honestly I look for a number over 500, and we ain't there. So it's a pretty low potential slate as it is. But that's the best you got. and the price is great, and the Vegas odds are favoring you, strongest favorite on the slate, along with Merrill Kelly in Arizona. So I'm going to lean here first for the price. And then I'm going to scroll down and see, how does Jordan Lyles compare at 8,500? Well, he's the underdog at plus 140, and he actually does have a solid K score. It's approaching 500. It's climbing, so that's a good sign too. And he faces San Diego. I don't like the underdog portion of it, and I don't like the fact that it's $2,300 more over on Fanduel. Now on DraftKings, same price, so pick one, pick the other. Take the gamble, whatever you want to do. If I look at Jeff Samardzija, I don't know if I trust that one in Arizona. I would look for BVP history and things like that with the Diamondbacks against him. I don't think that I'm going to like that matchup when I look a little bit further into it. Merrill Kelly, not sure how I would like that one either. 7,700. Do I like it as much as Joey Lucchesi? Probably not. He's got the same minus 150 Vegas favorite, but his K score's a good bit lower. And when I'm looking at these K scores, I want, like I said, I want a high number. I don't want something down here that's pitching to contact. Now, he might win the game, and that might be how I get my points. It's great because nobody ends up with strikeouts tonight. I don't know, but I'm going to try and target that strikeout upside. There really aren't a lot of other pitchers that I'm considering. I may consider a Marco Gonzalez, but I'm really starting to get down here towards the bottom of the barrel. So when I'm looking at the bottom of the barrel, those are the pitchers that I'm going to want to attack with bats. So if I got a Lucchesi, Lyles, probably 1 and 2 on the slate, depending on which one I want to use. Now I want to see who I want to target. I will go over here to DFSA grade, and I'll look for the bad red grades. 28, 28, 30, 25, those are all fine. So I've got Samardzija, which is why I was a little bit nervous about using him as a pitcher. If I had him as a pitcher, I would certainly build another lineup and stack against him in case then I don't care what happens. But I would look at a Jeff Samardzija, and that would put Arizona in a good spot, and then Kansas City, LA, and Seattle are also in good spots. Minnesota's been scoring a lot lately, so they would be another one to consider. When I look at the number Sierra, which is what an ERA should be pitched to, I'm looking again at Merrill Kelly. It's interesting. And then the bottom three. So the bottom three just repeat. They're on both categories. So if I look at Merrill Kelly, I can put San Francisco on the list if I want to take a chance on a poor offense that maybe gets lucky tonight and scores a lot of runs. That'd be more of a GPP type of pick. I wouldn't even probably use that in my ladders because it's a little bit risky for what the slate has to offer based on the reward. I don't need this in a 50-50. I don't need this in, a 10-man league. The reward just isn't there. To turn $1 into $5 is not worth the risk of taking what should be a largely crappy offense, even if they are in a great spot. Now, if I'm going to turn $1 into $1,000, now we can talk. I'm going to need that type of risk to basically use the leverage of the ownership against the field and then end up playing, all alone at the top of the leaderboard or having the best shot. That's where that reward will definitely pay off. But these bottom three offenses, or these on the bottom three pitchers, attacking them with these three offenses is what is typically going to lead to the success tonight most times. These would be more of your cash offenses on this slate, more of your league offenses, your smaller, smaller entry, higher dollar GPP type offenses where chalk wins. Those are the kinds of things we talk about in DFSArmy.com. We show you how to take this approach or this approach, whichever one it is you want for the contest you want, and try to put you in the best position to succeed possible. Now that I know those offenses, I come over here into the Trends tab, and I sort by the L7 WOBA, which is my favorite statistic to look at. And now I'm going to go through an offense like in Arizona, and I'm going to see who's hitting the ball well right now. Well, most of them, down to Carson Kelly. So if Adam Jones, Blake Swihart, Alex Avila, there's 3 catchers on this list. They're not all going to start. Eduardo Escobar, Carson Kelly, whichever one of those starts, probably be the catcher of choice for me. Hopefully it's one of the cheaper guys. But I've also got an Eduardo Escobar and an Adam Jones back up there swinging the bat really, really well. Those would be the guys I would key on in that stack. Now, if I filled in with a Jared Dyson who steals some bases, by all means, hopefully he gets on base for me, and we end up doing well. Kansas City was another offense we wanted to look at. So if Terrence Gore gets the start, which he probably won't, Nicky Lopez probably won't, But down here, I've got a Alex Gordon, who's hitting the ball fairly well lately. I've got a Jorge Soler, who's been hitting the ball with power lately, probably borderline in play at about 380 to 400, somewhere in there. Those are okay. Now, the rest of the guys, probably not. Can they have a great game? Sure. If I was hell-bent on rostering Kansas City, despite them not swinging the bat all that well right now, other than a couple of guys, I would probably just load up the top of that lineup, because typically the top of that lineup performs if they're going to, and the bottom of the lineup is pretty shitty. So I would have, Gordon, Soler, Mondesi, Merrifield, whatever. Hunter Dozier, even though he's cold right now, he's running really cold. He'll come back. He's too good of a hitter not to. LA's another one that we wanted to look at. Lastea, of course. Jared Walsh, 5 at-bats in 4 days, isn't going to get in 14 days, isn't going to get the start. Pujols all of a sudden spiked to a 464, so Pujols is in play. Trout is in play. Maybe a Cole Calhoun if you want to round out a stack. Maybe a Simmons if you want to round out a stack. Maybe Ohtani. I think Ohtani's a little overpriced and he's a little bit of a gimmick, but whatevs. So I'm looking for these types of numbers. And look at Pujols at 3,100. Shows us a great value potential if he produces like he's been producing lately. Same with Lastea. Minnesota's been scoring a lot lately. Buxton, would you think they're 9-hole hitters top of the charts? Well, you would if you played him last night like I did and got the homer out of him because you recognized this trend and said, I'm going to play him along with all of these other guys. Sano's starting to hit a little bit, which would be great. Marlon Gonzalez has been great for a couple of weeks. Jason Castro's been a bomb waiting to happen when he gets the start lately. Probably won't start today, but he did last night. I had him and Buxton in a mini stack down low, and it worked out very, very well. I didn't have Cron. But why am I overpaying for these guys who aren't hitting when these guys are? That's just DFS 101. And of course, I'll look at Seattle, and then we'll just call that good. Narvaez, Malik Smith had a decent night last night. Vogelbach doing Vogelbach things. Mitch Haniger, maybe. It's about it in that lineup. I don't need much else unless I'm taking a complete flyer on a Jay Bruce to hit a couple of bombs. And I can certainly take the flyer. I don't need to expect much out of it, but it could happen. Logical. He's a power hitter. So let me show you the bonus. Since now you've got some offenses, you've got the names inside the offenses that should perform or set up to perform in the good matchups. You've got pitchers that we're attacking, and you've got pitchers that you want to roster, potentially. You've broken the slate down in 12 minutes with a lot of jibber-jabber in between. But what we're going to do now is we'll jump into the batters matchup tab. This is something I don't often show. And I sorted this one out by the slate as well because I wanted to show you, of course, the same salary information, handedness, where the park is. The green guys are going opposite hand, so right-handed pitcher, left-handed bat. What I wanted to show you, and you can do this for WOBA too, but what I wanted to show you was the ISO WOBA. This is a way to find home runs. And if you're looking on a slate like today, where nobody's really standing out as far as a good pitcher, and you just are going to have a pitcher that's going to get shelled, I'm going to try to find the guys that are going to do the shelling. And if I'm not happy with those stacks or whatever, I might go out to a bigger baseline and use a little bit bigger sample size. What I want to do is find a pitcher that gives up ISO. And what I'm finding is to right-handed bats, Matt Harvey gives up a 246 ISO over the past couple of years. That's a big power number. He's given up a lot of long balls. And I find that Jeff Samardzija gives a 229. Anything over 200 is viable. I used to call this 200 on 200. To 240, 229, 226, whatever. You can find these pitchers that are giving up green ISO. These are green lights for bats. And I come over here and I look at the individual bats, like a Ryan O'Hearn in his sample size of 250 plate appearances, has a 299 ISO against right-handed pitching, and we just so happen to have a right-handed pitcher on the mound who gives up a 250 ISO. This is a recipe for boom. It's outstanding. It's an outstanding indicator. 200 is a strong ISO power metric, 200 and over. So if I see a guy who hits for a 200 or over facing a pitcher that gives up 200 or over, it just makes sense that we've got a strong bat on a weak arm. And that should lead to some fireworks. So if you wanted to go through the slate tonight and just start handpicking the 200 on 200 guys, these top 4 guys, see, I wouldn't use this. I wouldn't use Reyes tonight, although 190 is close. You could use him. I'm not going to. But then it will go up 3 in a row. So take Reyes off and go down 3 in a row down to Jose Ozuna. I would like to see some of these guys get the starts. We may be on small sample sizes, 10 plate appearances for Nicky Lopez, right? Not much to rely on. But Ryan O'Hearn, Eduardo Escobar, Alberto Mondesi. Great spots tonight for power. Austin Peralta if he plays. Ozuna, Trout, maybe. If I scroll over and look at the matchup ISO again, Trout, Trout's facing a pitcher that doesn't give up a lot of power. Now Trout hits for massive ISO, but he doesn't give up. We're not looking at that. So we might look over here at Elf there if he gets the start. We might look here, all the 190. That's not good. 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200, 200. We're starting to run out of the opportunity. So you can see there's only going to be a few of them tonight. But if you focus on the tops of this list, that's what you're going to find. When you sort by matchup ISO, this is just the average. This 273 is the average between 246 and 299. But when you're looking at this, you're going to, when you sort by this and bring these to the top, you've got all of these 200 on 200 guys coming to the top. It's a way to find home runs, and I would be rostering Escobar and Mondesi tonight if I was looking for some home runs. One of them may hit one tonight. Now, that said, this is a lot of what we discussed inside DFS Army. If you've ever thought about jumping in, today's Friday. It's payday, paycheck Friday. Jump on in here, get some coaching, get some access to these tools, start building lineups with our optimizer, cranking out whether you MME the showdown slates or whether you play single lineup on the great big full slates. You can use this exact same process to find 200 guys on the main slate and home run hunt. That's one way to go about doing it. And it's shown a little bit of track record of working. But to do that, you've got to click the link in the comments section, dfsarmy.com, or learn the ladder system by clicking that link too. And if you like this type of content, you like and subscribe to the video, ring the notification bell so these videos drop to your phone when I produce them, and get in here and start winning today. You can be in here in a matter of an hour or so and have the full day worth of acclimating and talking to our coaches in the MLB rooms. We're fully stocked. We've got all of our guys assigned today. They're sitting in there waiting to discuss the slate with you. So don't delay. Get on in here today. I didn't mean to rhyme that, but get on in here and let's start winning together. Take care, guys. Happy Friday. We'll talk to you over the weekend or maybe early part of next week.